In a number of ways, I see women's leadership as being important. One, because women, unfortunately, are disproportionately impacted by climate change, and in a number of different ways that we don't have to go into because we'll be focused on solutions. But because of the disproportionate impact, obviously it makes more sense for women to be a part of the solutions and leading on solutions to make sure that those areas of impact are being addressed as we develop and design systems. So that's one reason. Another reason is that women in communities, the role that they often play is around planning and around thinking of whole communities. Even when there's actually studies that show that women tend to think more of whole communities and of whole families and so forth in the way that they plan sustainably as compared to men. So that's not my opinion. It's actual research that has found that. So I think that's another reason that women are critical in moving forward. Also, in terms of women's roles, that over time, one of the roles that women have had has been around food production. And food production is such a large piece of this whole climate change puzzle. So whether it's the fact that food production is going to be negatively impacted, or the fact that a lot of the food production and movement processes are actually driving climate change, it's important for women to be able to look for alternative ways so that we're looking at local food movements as opposed to food being moved over long distances. We're looking at our diets and how, you know, meat-based meat consumption, especially excessive meat consumption, is driving climate change because of the emission of methane. And so women's roles around food is critical in helping us to make that shift.
Very good.
Yes.
So how do you see the summit being an important part of this
solution? Yes, I'm excited about the summit because it draws women together from all different places, and both in terms of the sharing that we're all doing together from the different types of ways that we're involved, and just being able to build synergies around that, figuring out ways that we can collaborate to help to amplify the work that we're doing in our own individual, you know, whether it's countries or in our own individual projects. And then also because women coming together, so it's not just kind of, I guess, the synergies around how we, it's not just around how we collaborate, but it's also the energy that comes from women coming together and speaking about these issues. You saw it was palpable in the room even this morning in terms of just when you hear someone speak and it really strikes a chord with someone else, that the energy that's generated from that, the way folks get motivated by hearing other, because when you're in the trenches, often you can get demoralized by what's going on, but when you're around other women and you're inspired by what they're doing, it's exciting as well. And then another point around that is that we have this dynamic that we talk about in the U.S. called NIMBY, not in my backyard, when it comes to pollutants or and so forth being in one place or not. And when you drive it out of one place, it just goes to another. But now we want to move towards the construction of NOPE, which is not on planet Earth. So, and yeah, it's pretty exciting. I did not come up with it at all, but it's a great construction. And so with that, when we're talking about, even when we're talking about coal-fired power plants, for example, I'm shutting down a coal-fired power plant, and yes, I want to make sure it doesn't go to that next community, but I also want to make sure it doesn't start to drive the coal exports market so that coal is going overseas. So there's so many different ways that's replicated in so many different areas. So working all together means that we set standards that are global standards as opposed to just country level standards. And I'm looking forward to not only the summit itself, but for what comes afterwards in terms of us all continuing the momentum that we're starting to build here and talking about working together. Women who I've never met, organizations who I've never heard of, us all just continuing to stay connected and build those common projects and making sure that we're kind of holding strong to the NOPE.